This is it's like a Mormon book, actually.
Okay.
I got it from the Mormon store in Arizona. Not that there's only one, but a Mormon store. Oh, and the other thing, sort of a unifying thing across the videos, I don't actually have intros. So technically, what we're doing right now is the intro to this video.
Okay.
I should explain to you and the audience what this actually is. The audience has like a title on the screen or whatever, but you don't. So, I originally wanted to start a channel called Laterman. I'm always, maybe not so much anymore, but especially back then, late to everything. And I guess technically I still kind of am when it comes to like pop culture, media, things like that. So I thought it would be fun to go back and see the things that I missed. Now I'm an adult and I can do that. It also had sort of a fighting game pivot. It's mainly what made me want to start the channel in the first place anyway. Eventually I came up with the idea of going through the entire MCU because I completely missed it, and I called it The Marvelous Journey. And I did it, actually. I don't think I've gone through the entire MCU to date. There's a few shows I'm missing. But I have, at this point, seen every movie that has come out. And I recorded quite a few episodes of The Marvelous Journey by myself. The problem is, I looked back at those episodes and thought something is missing. And it's just, all in all, kind of bad. I'm someone who's pretty easy to please. People bash critics all the time because oh, you're just always so negative. You never like anything that you watch. And I thought maybe that because I actually did like something but still had something to say about it, maybe it would make me different. It made me different, alright. It just made me kind of bad. However, one day I was watching, I believe it was The Incredible Hulk, and I was watching it with my brother. I told him about my plans for the channel, not what I'm currently doing now, but at the time when I was still planning to do solo stuff. And we had a conversation about what we just watched, and I realized what was missing. One, I really am not good at podcasting by myself. I need someone to bounce ideas off of. Speaking of which, you should probably introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is The Helping Hand. My YouTube channel is Helping Hand 23, of course. I do mainly card pack openings right now, but I'm planning to do some other things too. Maybe some D&D and tell some stories and see what comes out of it. I think this concept is interesting, so I thought I would join in with this and see where it leads me.
Also, he's one of the few friends I know in real life that can actually hold a conversation without bouncing to about 5 different anime topics in the span of 2 minutes. So
that is true. That is true. I can't lie. My friends do that.
The second thing I realize is I need an aspect of either criticism or analysis to my videos. Take a quick water break.
I would say that when you analyze the shows which you watch, you have to still look at the flaws, but they can be very minor or just something what bothers you. All flaws are objective, except when you mess up a scene, basically.
Not just criticism either, but people will see when they listen to this. So what we're doing here is essentially that. I have a friend of mine here. We're going to be going through the Marvel series again. I don't know how many of them you've watched.
I have watched quite a few, but I haven't watched some of them in a long time, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, we're essentially going to be going through the entire MCU. We're not going in any sort of normal order. I am going in the order that I originally did for Laterman Alpha, I guess. The Marvelous Journey Alpha.
Alpha. So is this the Omega?
I guess this is the finished product. I guess a general overview of like how it's going to be going. Typically, going to start out. We may have like an anecdote at the beginning or something we just want to get off our chest. We're going to be talking about like the movie in general. Then there's typically going to be a theme that I tie into it, as well as our experience with things outside the movie, be that comics, things we know about the characters, things we maybe not things we hope to see because this is all past tense.
Yeah.
But
if the things that I wanted to see in the Marvel Cinematic Universe actually happened, it would be a very different story.
It would be very different. We'll probably talk about that as well, actually.
Yeah. I have to wonder, when you came up with this idea and like realized you needed another person to bounce off of, did you have another choice before this?
No.
Okay.
Well, I'm maybe my brother, but then I moved. So.
Yeah.
Oh, also, we're also going to be attempting to talk about the portrayal of the characters, or like the characters as opposed to like their comic book counterparts.
Mm-hmm.
I have to stress off the bat, though, that I don't read comics.
I don't read comics either, but I have gone through like their backstories when I get interested. It's like what they've done in the past, and like see like a little videos, so I know exactly what they do. But I wouldn't say myself an avid comic reader.
Yes. So I kind of do the same thing. I call it wiki skims, because like most of my knowledge of Marvel characters in general comes from fighting games, specifically Marvel vs. Capcom. I was one of those people who got into the games for the Capcom characters, and just saw like, oh, there's also these Marvel characters in it too. Cool. In fact, actually, when Marvel vs. Capcom, you may not get this reference. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite came out, and people were upset that the X-Men characters did not make a reappearance. I was one of those people who were kind of confused as to why people were so upset, because like I'm just not familiar with them. I now know that that's intentional, or was intentional at the time. Just so the audience is aware, not much of a comic person. We know little bits and pieces of things that we've like just got curious about, researched.
That's basically what I've done. I've done probably more research than most people, but I don't know if I did as much as you. I think I do a lot, but that's subjective. So
well, talk about it.
Well, when I did research the Hulk, I researched the Hulk a little, and apparently the Hulk, geez, he has like so many forms. Like there's a form based on sadness, what just feeds off the harm people do others.
Oh, I thought you meant like continuities. I didn't know he had like actual. Okay, yeah, you probably do know more than me.
Yeah, he had different forms. He has like different personalities in his head. You could have multiple different personalities. Some of them even the Hulk has to fight against.
So wait, so you're saying that there's a Hulk out there where instead of like getting angry, he gets sad and then he turns into like
not sad. No, he feeds on other people's pain.
Oh, okay.
I just heard that concept and like, okay. Then I researched a little more and like, there's a lot of Hulks. Like, there's also a lot of Hulks like what are not just the Hulk. They're just like things like, wow, that's interesting. So the Smart Hulk, what's in currently in the MCU, is actually not the first time it's been done. It's been done better from what I've heard. But
like Professor Hulk, I think this one is called.
Yeah, Professor Hulk. It's been done before. It's been done way better, I heard.
I think that's the general sentiment about the MCU. It is kind of trying to do its own thing, but everything that they're attempting to reference has been done better in the comics. But I can't exactly blame them for that either.
They haven't developed the Hulk ever since its movie and movies.
Well, that's actually something we can get into in the Hulk. There's some very specific reasons for that. Yeah. Although the Hulk is a bit far away.
Yeah.
At least in this Marvelous Journey order.
So,
with that out of the way, I want you to guess. Not that you're ever going to get which movie we're starting with, but I like to see people suffer. So I want you to guess which movie we're going to start.
Captain America, Iron Man.
I'm going to give you 2 more tries. You're never going to get it.
Hulk,
It's incredibly mean what I'm doing to you.
Miss Marvel.
It's one more time. You got one more. Even though you technically gave me 4, but because you're never going to get which movie we're starting with.
Civil War.
We're not doing Civil War first.
Okay.
I typically don't have outros either. It makes conversation flow much easier, in my opinion. But for the sake of you and the audience, please join us next time for our thoughts on the Batman.